Well, for the first time in American history, the House of Representatives voted to remove the sitting speaker from office. Kevin McCarthy is out and Representative Patrick McHenry is in as temporary speaker. For more on this, we go live to Washington, D.C. to bring in Scripps News congressional correspondent Stephanie Liebergen. And Stephanie, 24 hours ago, we had no idea which way the attempted ousting of Kevin McCarthy would go, only to see American history made when his position was vacated in a 216 to 210 vote. So what happened yesterday that led to this?
Hey, good morning. Well, it was really the effort spearheaded by Florida Representative Matt Gaetz, the one Republican who really forced this issue to the House floor yesterday. But when it came to actual time to vote, he had 7 other Republican members who joined with him to support removing McCarthy from office. And then those 8 Republicans voting with the entire Democratic caucus united against McCarthy. So these 8 Republicans, they say they have been, many of them have long been frustrated with the way that McCarthy was leading the caucus. A bit of a final straw was actually what just happened over this past weekend in the deal being struck to getting Democratic votes to have a short-term budget deal, avoid that government funding. But these hardline conservatives, they wanted to see budget cuts. They wanted to see a reduction in government spending. They want to see the border being something that's tackled. They were unhappy with the package that was ultimately put forward and the one that ultimately averted this government shutdown. But that was really just kind of the final straw. They've long been frustrated with McCarthy, saying that he hasn't been trustworthy, that he hasn't followed through on some of the promises that he made back in January. Remember, we had to go through 15 rounds of voting in order for McCarthy to originally get that speaker's gavel, and there was a lot of backroom dealing and conversations that were made as part of that deal. These hardline conservatives say McCarthy hasn't held up his end of the bargain, and it was time to boot him from the office.
That's right. He barely got in back a couple months ago, and now he's out already. And as mentioned earlier, Representative Patrick McHenry will serve as the Speaker pro tem for now. So who exactly is Representative McHenry? Why was he selected to temporarily take over? And might it be him taking over the Speaker spot full time, or possibly someone else?
So McHenry got this position of temporary Speaker of the House based on previously established House rules and procedures. So the House clerk had a list on file given to her by Speaker McCarthy, and that clerk had the list of members that could serve as temporary speaker in the event that the office was vacant. So think about a death or an unexpected resignation. But in this case, it was that motion to vacate. It was that vote on the House floor that was unprecedented that left the speaker's office vacant. And then from that list, Patrick McHenry put in to fill that role. Now, he's a longtime Republican congressman from the state of North Carolina. He currently serves as the chair of one of the key congressional committees on the House side, but he's also got some executive branch experience as well, working in the Department of Labor under then President George W. Bush. So McHenry is a very strong McCarthy ally. But again, he's holding this position as a temporary role. He certainly could hypothetically be nominated amongst Republicans to take the job permanently, but there's a number of names being floated currently. Some of the natural options include other House Republican leaders, like Majority Leader Steve Scalise, but remember, he's currently battling cancer and dealing with health issues. There's also House Majority Whip Tom Emmer being discussed, and non-leaders in the Republican caucus. Jim Jordan, who's the chair of the Judiciary Committee, but other members like Kevin Hern, Tom Cole, other House Republicans being potentially suggested. So no clear path forward just yet on what exactly the procedure is going to look like for when they vote for a new Speaker of the House, when that vote is going to happen, or who the successor will be. So really more questions than answers right now.
Gosh, a lot to find out as chaos reigns upon Capitol Hill. We'll look forward to finding out more when it happens. Joining me live from D.C. this morning with the latest on the ousting of the Speaker of the House has been Scripps News congressional correspondent Stephanie Liebergen. Thanks so much, Stephanie.